Hi and welcome. In this tutorial we are talking about downward facing dog, which is probably the most common and well-known position in most of the yoga styles out there, but still it is such a difficult position for so many people. So we are going to talk about the three key components that might help you in this pose, and that is the distance between your hands and feet. It is the alignment of the upper body and the alignment of the lower body. So if you, as many other people, are struggling with this position and get frustrated when you're in class, because it is usually one of the most used poses in the class, and if it feels like the hardest one for you to do, you might need a little bit of tweaking to make it feel more comfortable in your body, or even nice in your body. It is possible, I promise. This can feel like a nice position. So let's see if we can fix that for you. So basically, the distance between the hands and feet, let's start there so we can set ourselves up correctly. The hands, if you come into a high plank where the hands are right under the shoulder and the feet are stretched out behind you, from here lift the hips up to the sky. Now the alignment here does shift a little bit depending on the length of your limbs and your torso. Now I have quite long legs and arms and a short torso, so for me to feel like this position works, I have to step my feet in maybe half a foot towards my hands. Here I can feel very nice and grounded and not like I am straining my body to hold this position. So always try to set yourself up from your high plank, pushing the hands into the floor and lifting the hips. And if you feel like you're straining a lot here, try to walk your feet in a little bit. But what we want to avoid is the feet and the hands being really close. So basically what we're after here is an equal weight between the legs and the hands. If your feet are really close to your hands, you will probably have most of the weight in your feet. Or if your feet and your arms are really far apart, then you will probably have a lot of weight in your arms, and it will look more like a plank than a downward facing dog. And it's also really hard position to hold. So once you've found that, check in a little bit here. So your feet might have to come in a little bit, and that's fine. Just make sure that you can distribute the weight evenly between your hands and your feet. Now that we have the distance between the hands and the feet down, let's have a look at the alignment of the torso and the legs. So starting with the legs, as usually it helps the alignment with the torso to get this one first. So I want you to bend your knees a lot here. So the heels are off the floor and the knees are bent. And obviously downward dog depends on, or the way your downward dog looks depends on the flexibility and mobility of your legs and lower back, and also Achilles, yes, the back of your ankles. But anyway, here bend your knees a lot, heels are off the floor, and I want you to think less of the legs being straight and more about the sit bones coming up to the sky. So from here, tilt the sit bones up to the sky, almost like you're arching your spine a little bit. So it's a little bit of a booty pop happening here. So we are reaching our sit bones up towards the ceiling to get that alignment. And to be able to do that, you might need to keep your knees bent and your heels off the floor. There is nothing wrong with that. It is much better to have the knees bent and the heels off the floor than to stretch the knees and have a curved spine. That puts a lot of strain on the arms and also the lower back. Yeah, so bend the knees, push the belly and the chest towards the thighs, and then pop your booty out, send the sit bones towards the sky. And as you might have seen now, that helped the alignment of my torso as well. A lot of people have that curved spine here, and they have the shoulders very close to the wrists, which means there's a lot of weight happening in the arms. So with the knees bent and heels off and the sit bones to the sky, you will find that you have more space
to push the hands into the floor and forwards to bring the chest and the belly closer to the thighs. That creates more of a long line from the tailbone to the top of the neck. Another thing to be aware of here is for those of you like me who have hypermobile joints and likes to splay the ribs out. So what can happen here as well is that you hang into your shoulder joint and you splay your ribs out. So you're just sort of hanging into your joint, which can over time do some damage to your joint. So we want to create some sort of muscle tension here by bringing the ribs in, closing the ribs in, and pushing the shoulders up towards the ears. Therefore, however flexible or mobile you are in your shoulder joints, you're not just resting into them and creating a lot of weight into your joints. Once you've found this alignment, so let's go over that again before I add on even more information. From your high plank, lift the hips, push the hands into the floor. Now you might find you need to walk your feet in a tiny bit. So try little steps and make sure that you find that even distribution of weight between the feet and the hands. Then if you feel like your spine is curved and there is a lot of weight in the hands, you want to bend the knees, send the sit bones up. Then from here you can push your torso closer to your legs. If here, after a while, when you get more mobile, if you do, which you don't have to, but if you do get more mobile and you feel like you can start to stretch your knees, make sure it's not at the expense of the alignment of your torso or the height of your sit bones. So sometimes what can happen is that I start to stretch my legs, but to do that I have to curve the spine. And that's what we do not want. So if you have a look here, my spine is nice and long. I'm pushing the hands into the floor and forwards so that my chest is coming closer to my legs. From here, because I have the range to do that, I can stretch my knees and put my heels to the floor without anything happening in my spine. So have a look, maybe in the mirror, or maybe just feel that in your body. And if you feel like you're curving your spine, definitely keep a little bend in the knees or the heels off the floor.
Okay, that is my little blurb about downward facing dog. There is definitely a lot of other tips and tricks out there that might help you more, but these are my little key components to feel like my alignment is nice and strong and I'm not struggling holding the positions by just using muscle power. So I hope this helps you. Let me know and I will see you in my next video. Thank you very much.